Welcome to selfdiscoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Health is Your Choice right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I am your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest today is Cindy Lynn Cowan. And she's known as the Texas Oil Lady. Why? Because she's a certified animal aromatherapist. Very interesting, huh? How does aromatherapy help our animals? She said she's incredibly passionate about sharing natural essential oil solutions with others for both themselves and their beloved pets. And she truly believes that our pets are more than just animals. Amen to that. They're cherished members of our families, and they deserve the very best care. Natural essential oils have been a source of healing and well-being for centuries, and she decided in helping people to discover how they can enhance their lives or their furry friends within and themselves. Cindy is a solopreneur and the creator of the Texas Oil Lady, and she became interested in holistic healthcare solutions back in 2016 with the discovery of doTERRA essential oils. Her love of nature and science brought her a new career of educating and sharing plant-based tools, essential oils, to support mindset, mood, and emotions. And she's a certified animal aromatherapist who offers virtual animal consultations and can access and recommend alternative solutions to help them with their behavior, emotional, and health issues. Now, being an absolute pet lover myself, not having one, we have a cat, but belongs more to my flatmate. I have a beautiful oil painting by one of our wonderful breakfast people of my dog who passed 7 years ago. Still means so much to me. And my daughter has literally just lost her cat of 8 years, which is way too young to lose a pussy cat, and apparently was really sick and they didn't know it. So our children are our furry ones, whether two-legged or four-legged, it doesn't matter, right? And we should give them the same respect and the same consideration we would any child or any member of our family. Welcome to the show, Han.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. I love aromatherapy. I use aromatherapy. I used to use it on my animals, but of course you can't just use it straight out. Their sensory smell is so much more heightened than us that it has to be put in something and used wisely. So it's just like, oh, aromatherapy, I'm just going to go use it on my animal. There is a technique to it, isn't there?
There is, and I got exposed to animal aromatherapy about 5 years ago when I attended the doTERRA conference in Salt Lake City. And on stage was a veterinarian who incorporated essential oils into her veterinarian practice. Dr. Rourke is an amazing woman, and I started to follow her on social media. And about 2 years ago, she started to offer certification classes. And so last summer, it was time.
Yeah.
And so I did study under her, took her course, did the case studies, passed the test, all that good stuff. But when I started to follow her, I would practice the essential oils on my own dogs.
Hmm.
And we started out using the oils on my daughter's pug who had, allergies. But she was a very petite dog. She's very tiny to be a pug. And I knew by, listening and watching what Dr. Work posted on her group that you just can't put straight oil
Hmm.
onto an animal or a person, for that matter. And she taught us, she had the charts and things of how much or how big the animal was, weight wise, and if it's a dog or a cat or a horse or a cow, right? It doesn't
Hmm.
matter. How to dilute it with fractionated coconut oil.
Mm.
And so you dilute it, and then I would put that on the pug's tummy. She had rashes on her tummy and under her armpits, and started to do that. And she started to heal. And, I was just tickled to death. But then I also learned about stomach health, the gut health. And even though she would still scratch. And then I learned about the food that we feed our animals
Hmm.
and how important it is too. So with the combination of essential oils, and then I actually made her food at home,
Yeah.
and she really thrived. So it was just amazing what you could do without having her to put her through all the prescriptions that she may have
Yeah.
had to been put on, and creams and things. So I felt good about how we were helping her.
Yeah, and also all the side reactions that comes along with the drugs. And yes, I used to cook for my dog, and my kids would come in and, oh, that smells good. That's for supper? No, that's for the dog. You treat the dog better than you
They don't
do
talk back.
us. But aromatherapy, yes, I used to use it on my animals as well, but I use it a great deal on myself. More than just a good sensory smell that can relax you or put you into a different state of being. It has such amazing healing modalities. And the thing about aromatherapy, it doesn't really matter where you put it because it gets into that bloodstream and goes where it needs to go, doesn't it?
Oh, it most definitely does. I have a diffuser in every room in my home, and my pets are used to it. I adopted a Labrador retriever about 3 years ago, and he had been abandoned. And so him and I just bonded. It
Hmm.
just happened naturally. But I knew he was very anxious and always afraid of being left alone. And so he's always by my side. So on my side of the bed, I have this pretty big humidifier slash diffuser. And so lavender for the
Mm,
longest. And then occasionally I'll put copaiba into the water. But he's used to essential oils. It does keep him calm. He has his moments because, as with animals and humans, we have memories.
yes.
We can express them. They can't so much express, but they can show behavior signs. And so when you diffuse, it helps everyone to be calm, ready, or during the day, or be, relaxed for the nighttime. So he's flourished. He still likes to know where everyone is, but he's not as frantic.
Yeah.
And you can see it in their eyes, the frantic look, like,
Yeah.
what's going on, that kind of thing.
I mean, you talked about horses and everything else, and it's like, yes, obviously the dose has to be different, but this is the thing about oils. They have been around since the beginning of time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they natural plants. And when we look at our natural plants, um, they're here to heal. They say wherever, there's a disease, 2 steps away is the cure, right? And
Right.
our natural plants and flowers and things like this is that excreting the oils away from them,
Mhm.
and actually how powerful they are even in just one drop. I'm a tea tree lover. I use it on directly on my skin with the company that I'm with, but the lavender, I actually really love lavender and peppermint together
Mhm.
because it kind of stimulates you, but in a calm way.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like put the two together. One does this and one does that. No, it finds a really good balance. And I just use it as a spritzer, just to spray now and again, just when you need that little either pick me up, but you want it to be a calm pick me up and not an hysterical sugar high, right?
Right.
So the thing about oils, they're just beautiful, but you
Yes,
do have to know how to use them.
that's correct. You do. You do. And I started out as a customer, and I had severe allergies when we lived in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And I never had them before. And I was told that the metroplex that we lived in had a lot of pollution and
Mm,
pollen. The winds that came in brought in all kinds of things. And I had made myself sicker with Western medicine, but I had met a lady at an event who introduced me to doTERRA. And I signed up for her newsletter, and we started some conversations, on messaging and stuff. And I called her one day and I said, I was skeptical, right? I
mhm.
said, can essential oils really help? And she's like, oh, yeah. And I said, I've got this going on with the allergies, the sinus infections, and all those things. And she said, lemon, lavender, and peppermint,
Mm,
the power trio right there,
yes.
right? So I ordered it, started to use it. Boom. Like within 2 days, all the craziness was gone. No more sinus infections since 2016.
Mm.
None.
I'm taking a
Guess,
note on that.
guess what?
Right.
It's good for animals too.
Right.
I
Lemon, lemon,
lemon,
lavender.
lavender, and peppermint. That's a great powerhouse trio. You can diffuse it. My Labrador will literally go out to the backyard, come back in, and do nose dives into the carpet because his nose itches. Whatever's blooming or blowing in the air,
Yes.
which we don't know what it is. Um,
Particles unseen, but definitely there.
yes,
Yes.
definitely. And sometimes he's a yellow lab, but he's more towards the albino side. He's very white, sort of. And you can see the eye interior of your eyes get pink
Yes.
because they're irritated. So doTERRA actually has um, the lemon, lavender, and peppermint in a soft gel format, right? So that you can buy them in capsules and not just the oils themselves, but in a capsule. It's a soft gel and it's a vegetable gel. So I have a bottle in the kitchen, and the days that I can tell it's bothering him, I put two, because he's a big boy. He's 100 pounds.
Hmm.
So he gets two of the capsules that's been wrapped in a piece of deli meat because he caught on to the peanut butter. And I think when he chomped the peanut butter,
Ah,
the
the
capsule
oil.
exploded.
Mhm.
He's like,
Ooh, what's this peanut butter?
no,
It's
no,
got
no,
a
no. So
rancid.
deli meat, he pretty much swallows. So, and that helps.
Yeah.
And then, diffusing it. I have gotten those oils if he's really, really bad, and I diluted it with fractionated coconut, and I just rub around his tummy,
Mm,
the skin of his tummy, and it absorbs no matter where you put it.
right.
The best place for an animal is to put it on their spine of their back, right?
Hmm.
Starting from the nape of their neck to their tailbone, and you put the oils on your hand and you just rub it down the spine, and their fur is like a straw. So it just sucks it in, absorbs it in, gets into their skin and then into their bloodstream and goes throughout their whole body.
And
So
into the
that's
chakras as
mhm,
well, right? Balancing them as
yes.
well. I have to go back to the lemon, lavender, and peppermint.
Uh-huh.
Would you put it in a little spritzer or dilute it with something or what?
Humans are animals.
Both.
Um, for a human, if you have like the allergies, like you wake up and you start the sneezing and stuff, you can diffuse it. And if you can be at your desk or in a room, you can diffuse it right there. You can actually take 2 drops of each into a little glass of water and swish it around in your mouth, and it absorbs quickly into your cheeks and into your sinus area. And it's safe to swallow. So you swish it around and you can swallow it. You can also take it by the capsule the little vegetable capsules I told you about.
Mhm.
If you don't like the taste of oils, you can just swallow it, 2 pills. Um, I don't think I've ever personally like rubbed it on me. You could put maybe a little bit on your in your hand, a drop of each, a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, or unscented um, lotion, and you could massage it into your neck. If you have sensitive skin, you always want to dilute it. Maybe put it on your chest, like right here, would
Mhm.
be okay too.
I mean, we're allergy seasons isn't just, allergies in the spring and things. You
No,
get the
it's year
winter
round.
allergies,
Hmm.
the central heating and the
Hmm.
different dusts and things that are flying in the particles. And I know for me,
Right.
that's when the sinus issues start coming up. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely paying attention to this.
Yeah, those
And
those are three are good. And then doTERRA also has a product called Breathe, which
mhm,
is really great for the winter time, or if you've got a really stuffy head cold.
mhm.
And that's just another product to choose from. It's a little bit different. I think it has some wintergreens in it. It's just different.
Well, and that's the thing is that don't just wait until the problem arises.
Hmm.
Like you can use these oils as a way of enhancing your well-being, mentally, spiritually, physically,
Hmm.
and that's the thing we were always taking care of the physical, but we're not paying attention to the mental or the psyche or the spiritual side of ourselves. And we need to dress ourselves as a whole being. And that's what the oils do. As I said, they kind of go where they're needed. So
Yeah.
wherever you're putting them on, they go where they need because they know where the repair is needed. But at the
Mhm.
same time, you've got the sensory smell. This is relaxing for the mind and the psyche, and then it penetrates into the body to go and do the healing that it needs to do, and that creates a well-beingness. So it's not just like a pill that's just going to take care of one thing. It goes to work and does multiple things.
Well, it's like peppermint.
Mm.
Peppermint can be used to wake you up, to heal you. You could put a drop of it into your tea. You
Yes.
know, for a peppermint type flavored tea, you can cook with it. You can bake with it.
Mm-hmm.
I have baked with mine. I haven't cooked with it, but I put it in brownies, and people love my peppermint brownie bites. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's refreshing. And what you
Yes.
don't know is that you're getting these healing properties in your body. And people need to start listening to their bodies. That
Yes.
first day that you wake up, you're going, oh, I feel a little icky. Start, using your oils. And the oils, what was so fascinating was that they've been around forever. I love that doTERRA. My favorite is frankincense is harvested from Africa for a reason.
Yeah.
It is indigenous to that country. The soil and the climate is perfect. Lavender's from Spain.
Yeah.
They source their oils all over the
Mm.
world where they need to come from.
So
And
they're not generically
no, no, no. And
modified.
they work straight with the farmers. And that was
Mm.
another great selling point
Right.
for my love for the company and what they produce.
Now, let's talk about something that happens to animals and humans alike, and especially
Mhm.
when you get into winter weather, arthritis or joint pain. What is good for that? Because I know that, you get a dog, especially if it's been active. I had a border collie, they're always twisting and turning because that's what they do. And so the hips
Yeah.
begin to go. And, you've got, inflammation in there or arthritis starting. What is good for that? Because that's something, again, don't wait
Yeah.
until you're in excruciating pain, right? It's just as you
Right. I
feel it
mean,
coming on.
uh, Copaiba is good. It's sort of, a joint pain muscle essential oil. Frankincense.
Hmm.
Those two right there are pretty powerful. You It depends, if we're talking about humans or animals. Some of the hotter oils like wintergreen you don't put on a dog or
Okay.
any animal. But your other ones are sort of, I would say, neutral. They're not what they call a hot oil, but they do have some healing properties. But that's why I'm around. When someone asks me, when
Yes.
someone wants a wellness consultation, I send them a questionnaire, like,
Hmm.
and that way I get history, especially on the animals.
Yes.
You know, how old are they? How big are they? Their weight, their age.
The
What are
diet
their
and what's
past
the
problems?
problem? Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
can't. I can't. It's hard. I don't like to just like blurt out
Right,
solutions because you don't know the history. It's just
right.
like when you go to the doctor or the vet. But
Yeah.
um,
But it's
I
also,
just feel.
so how many drops do they actually need, as
Mm,
opposed to just generic? Because obviously a
yeah.
human can take more than an animal unless it's a big animal. But should
Mhm.
they? Because maybe one drop is all they need.
Yeah.
Right? So it's knowing the ratio not only of the animal size, but the animal species as well, I would imagine.
Exactly. Cats are very, very sensitive.
Yes.
There's the number of oils that can be used on a cat is way minimal than a dog
Mm.
or a horse. It depends, you're getting bigger, you know,
Yes.
it just increases that. And age, are they a puppy, a kitten, newborn? Are they what age range? Are they a senior?
Mm.
And there's also a time that it's end of life.
Yes.
And so I did have a friend reach out to me, and her dog has got kidney failure. There's not much they can do
No.
except make him comfortable because she didn't wasn't ready to put him down.
Hmm.
And she wanted to enjoy as much time as she could with him. And I understood that. And so she's like, Cindy, he's not sleeping throughout the night, which wakes me up because I want to comfort him. And I said, get one of your diffusers, put it by his bed, and copaiba, lavender, diffuse it, spray. That's something you could spray on their bedding.
Hmm.
And if they go to the living room, have their bed or their blankie, whatever, And she about 2 days later, I checked on her and she's like, he's sleeping. I'm
Mm.
sleeping. He's sleeping because he was not comfortable.
Yeah.
He just, so there are end of life routines for animals, just like they are hospice for humans.
And that's something we need to respect is, as I say, my
Mm-hmm.
daughter in a 6 hour period, took the cat to the vet to find
Oh,
out that they couldn't operate, a complete collapse urinary, a massive amount of gallstones, and they would have had to castrate him, and the operation
oh.
necessarily wouldn't have been a success because he was riddled. And he was only 8 years old. And, they just thought, okay, a bit of a urinary tract maybe. And he was fine a few hours before that. And then in the space of 6 hours, they had to decide to put him down because he may not have made it through this operation, but he certainly wouldn't have
Right.
had a quality of life. And that's a hard decision to have. But I think on the other side of it is, when I put my dog down, my son came over and cooked her a steak dinner. We gave her ice cream. She was pampered. I'd had the whole afternoon with her in my
Oh,
arms, thanking her for her presence in my life. And then when the vet came, he came to put her down there. I literally was holding her face and looking into her eyes as she left this world. And I was calm. So when it happened to his dog, it didn't happen quite in the same way, but he did get to say goodbye. But he wanted her to have the perfect death like my Kokomo had had. And
oh,
but the thing is, using aromatherapy at that time to calm the animal because it knows it's on its way out, right? And
yeah,
the biggest problem is us humans letting it go. It's us that hold back. And it's like if they're in discomfort, in pain, they're not going to come through this. Let's honor them by giving them a good death,
yeah.
right? A
I agree.
peaceful death. And that means maybe you need to use some therapy on yourself to keep yourself calm
Yes.
and kind of set the stage for the animal itself, whether you're taking it to the vet to be put down or the vet is coming to you, um, to also do that where the animal is calm, because we don't want them crossing over with you in tears and in panic and in stress. That is not a good crossing over. So it is,
Mhm.
everything about it, the experience, let it be calm. And then that's honoring their passing.
Yeah, totally, totally. That's we've put so many dogs down, before
Mm,
oils came into our life, and it's, you know, in the future we're now prepared,
yeah.
you know, to for those situations. And I really, my heart goal is to educate people that, one bottle of like
Yes.
lavender, right, can help the humans and the animals with whatever situation's going on, whether it's that end of life or if it's just anxiety in the home. And pets know when there's something wrong in the house,
Yes.
whether there's been a death in the family, there's maybe turmoil with arguing or whatever they feed off of our energy and our emotions, and they're usually right beside you
Yeah.
and they feel that. And share the essential oil, let them smell. My daughter's pug loves oils. That
Mm.
boy, and when it comes to self-selection, he sniffs them all and he wants to lick the air.
Yes.
I've never seen a dog do that. My other two will like some of the oils and then they're like, that's enough, mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm all smelled out. I mean, let's face it, dogs can be absolutely gross with what they lick and like. So, if we can change their palate to something that's more pleasant, that's better. I mean, aromatherapy again has been around since the beginning of time, and it has such healing modalities. And let's just look at it, for stress. You've got people that are going through changes, going
Yep.
through a move, losing a job, or just, stress all around them because that's where the world is in at the present moment. Everybody take a deep breath, release, right? But taking that deep breath and at the same time having the right oils around you to help you take that deep breath, to help you calm down. You talked about animals being in stress. They feed off us. When people say, oh, my animal is all acting out, it's because of you. It's feeling your stress and it's playing up because of you. And, I have a case of this where I was renting a place downstairs of a guy, and he had a mastiff, and I had the border collie, and the mastiff just basically because he was working was with us all the time, and even get on the bed and you just go for walks with us. Terrible going for walks because it suddenly want to attack people. I mean, it had not been properly integrated into life. And then one day, this guy upstairs had a friend over who was not only high but highly stressed, and he was literally pacing the garden. And all of a sudden, the mastiff attacked my dog. Now,
Ooh,
she had a huge, big mane of fur around her, and I
okay.
am trying to pull a mastiff off my dog. Right? I get bitten.
Yeah.
Right? Afterwards, when we separated them, my dog doesn't want to go anywhere near her dog, that dog anymore. But that dog actually didn't know what was wrong. It kind of didn't know why we were rejecting it,
Yeah.
and and we understood it was the other guy's energy that had whirled this dog up into such a frenzy that caused it to panic and then turn on my dog,
Yeah.
right? So I actually got the guy to give the dog up and put it somewhere where there was a farm where it was going to get loved and attentive because had no
Mm,
right to have this dog and give it, and he did give it up, thank goodness. But the dog didn't know what it had done wrong, and it didn't understand it had picked up that
right.
stress. We've got to understand that animals, whether a cat goes and hides or a dog starts misbehaving, it's
Mm,
a reflection of what's going on with us. So if we can stay calm in what we're dealing with and create a calm atmosphere for the
mm.
diffuser of the oils, everybody's going to manage what's going on a hell of a lot better.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Something I learned about a year ago is a lot. We open up our windows, our Venetian blinds in our home,
Mm,
and normally the front part of your house is your living room,
mm,
dining room, kitchen. Is when a dog sees someone out front, they go
yeah.
bark.
Yes.
A lot of people will call them down and like be mad at them.
Yes.
Stop that. Don't do
No.
that.
No, they're
What
doing
they
their job.
don't realize is that those dogs are protecting their
Yes.
home.
Yes.
They're like, hey, mom, dad, there's something out front. And so when I first, and I love Caesar, with the animals on the Discovery
Mm,
Channel, he's like, they don't know any better, but
no.
don't yell at them.
Right.
You're giving them the wrong message.
Yes.
Hey, Luke, come here. What you got? Come here. Oh, okay. Hey, mom. You know,
Mm.
you can distract them and talk to them, but I mean, it's
Or
just
thank them.
behavior.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
thank you for telling me. It's okay. It's all
Yeah.
safe. But thank you for telling me. Because that, tail little wagging. Look, I told you, Mum,
Yeah.
there was somebody out there, right? And you
But we
just
have
thank
to,
them
we
for
as
doing their
humans have
job.
to change
Yes.
our perception on around, just like you're with your children,
Yes.
you know, teach your children the way that you want to be treated, vice versa, and to, be kind and have those. And I know life is hard. There's people have good days, bad days, whatever. But you have to remember children and our pets take away from our energy and our
Hmm.
behavior. And like you said, that poor mastiff didn't know
No,
what was going on. And you
he
just,
just reacted.
and that's all about, and that's, part of when I visit with people, it's, these are things I like to share. Just, hey,
Yeah.
did you realize?
Hmm.
Oh, no. I was the same way. I've learned so many things over these years, and
Yeah.
it's just about sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's being aware. And it's, I think is that when you have any form of animal in your life, you need to actually understand that animal.
Hmm.
Like a border collie is a herder, a
Hmm.
protector. And this one would protect. If somebody came near that she didn't want, the teeth would go up. And of course, she was a nipper. She would, it wasn't a bite or attack, it was nip you into place. And I had three children. So when they played up and they would play fight, she would actually cotton on they were play fighting, but she put something in her mouth and she would jump around and going roar, 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 while they were play fighting, but she had something to chew on in her mouth instead of nipping at them. And she decided that herself.
That's good.
Yeah. But what she wanted to do was nip them back into their own little paddock as they stopped fighting.
Y'all stop that.
And the thing is, know your breed before you get a dog. Know your breed. I mean, border collies are highly strong, but they're highly intelligent. One saved my life and stopped me from going over a cliff when I was given a wrong medication and I thought I could fly.
Oh
And
no.
and I'm driving along and I was hallucinating. I thought I could fly, and it was a cliff with rock down to water. And she barked at me and I barked back. She pawed me, I pawed her. Next thing she did, she threw her entire body over me. And my foot came off the gear and it was a stick, so it came to a stop. I had the tires on the edge of the cliff.
Oh my gosh.
How did she know? She knew danger was coming up.
Yeah.
She knew she had to snap. And of course, I snapped out of it. The drug was actually taken off the market because people were killing themselves,
Oh no.
without any intention, because we all thought we could fly. But how did she know? And I owe my life and her life,
Yeah.
to her and that instinct. Don't undermine what an animal instinctively knows. Pay attention to their language and
Mhm.
what they see, what they feel, and how they interact, because they are beautifully divine, intuitive creatures that work on a different plane than we do. And very often their plane is much truer and much more real than ours. So pay attention to your animals, please.
Oh, definitely. Well, an animal's sense of smell is
Yeah.
like insane compared to ours. And so your dog could have also smelt the drug in your system,
Yes.
or maybe the chemicals that were going kind of wonky. It's like
Yes.
someone, they can train a dog to tell when someone's going to have a seizure,
Yes.
or they're just amazing creatures. And if some are
Cancer.
natural and some you have to be taught,
Right. Some of them
to.
are can smell cancer. Of course, they're used for drugs. All
Mhm.
right, drug thing. But they also for rescue. There was beautiful movie on animals that rescue people around the world, and some used and trained for when there's disasters of sniffing out a body. All
Mhm.
right, dead or alive.
Isn't that crazy?
And it is crazy, and it's just like they are so beautifully dutiful and loyal and practical and sensible again,
Mhm.
more than us. So, I think pay attention but don't underestimate them. And, if they are in distress or, if they're really, really happy, don't, and you're not feeling in the mood, that get over yourself. Tap into the
Right.
happiness because they'll lift you out of that. But,
Oh,
don't
for
dismiss
sure.
them. It's like a child coming to you all happy, look what I've done, and you're grumpy and you snap at them. That child is offended. So is your animal. Right.
Like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, we have to check in ourselves, or if we realize we're doing that and go back, I'm sorry. And don't ever underestimate a thank you. Somebody used to find me when I played through the ball of the stick to her, and when she brought it back, I thanked her. And woman said, I've never seen anybody thank their dog for anything. And I said, but she's brought the ball back to me to my command. So I am going to thank her. And she said, I'm going to try that with my dog.
Well, my husband thought it was weird that my husband always gets into the bed first, and I'm usually lingering in the bathroom, doing the nighttime routine. And Luke, our Labrador, my Labrador, will get up on my side of the bed. Now, he's a hot body, so he makes my side of the bed hot, and my husband just lets him. So I'll come out of the bathroom, go to the bed. I'm like, Luke, off, go to bed. And he looks at me and then he gets off. And I always say, good boy, thank you.
Yeah,
And my husband's like, why do you say that? I said,
yes,
why not?
exactly.
He's
Exactly.
he's obeying me. He
Right.
knows.
It's respect and gratitude.
Yeah.
Why are we looking at animals as being low life that, we can do anything to?
Mhm.
Though appreciation is felt by all species on this world. And
Mhm.
by showing appreciation through our words or our actions, it is felt. As
Yeah.
the same with the taking things for granted, right?
Mhm. That's for sure.
I would imagine that having an arena where the aromatherapy that's on regularly sets a nice space for people to come in and decompress and recenter themselves and have a place where there is more of an equilibrium. Have you found that?
Mm-mm.
No?
You mean with a veterinarian?
No, no, no.
Oh,
Having your area, your home with the oils.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Right.
sorry, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, it's it's a much calmer
Mhm.
situation, always. And I even, if they go in my car for a car ride, there's essential oil diffuser in
Yeah.
the car hanging
Yeah.
from the mirror. It's just it's part of our life,
Hmm.
and our animals are used to it. Um, it's so I think it's so important to have your natural medicine cabinet.
Yes.
That, I do have a section, or I have a tote thing that's just for the dogs.
Hmm.
So it's like their first aid kit. So I have a healing salve that's for rashes or minor cuts or their paws. Like this is it's a salve that I have. Um, Helichrysum is a roller, touch roller. They have their own. So if they cut themselves and it's bleeding, helichrysum is a blood clotter oil,
Mm.
essential oil, if you didn't know that.
Mm.
So even though I don't put the ball directly on them or whatever the cut is, same thing for a human. You put it on your finger and then you put it onto their wound. So that's their bottle. But it's nice that I have sort of a first
Yes.
aid kit for those times, even though I could use stuff from my own personal stock. But
Well, it
it's
means you
just
know what you can use. It's been
mhm.
diluted. It's all prepared. And
it's
you
all
haven't
it's
got to
all
A,
right
go
there,
and
quick to
prepare it or
grab.
second guess. Yes. And that just makes sense. You would do the same for your children,
Mhm.
right? You have your extra strength for parents and you've got the other strength for the kids. And so having it all separate where you know
Yeah,
where, I mean, it's the same thing. You can give instructors someone, it's in the kit marked kids or marked animals or whatever the case is. And it just makes it easier and more clearer as
you're
to what
prepared.
belongs to, yeah,
Mhm.
to whom it needs to go, which is, I mean, the thing is about the oils too. I don't know what the price is with your company, but you know, people look at it and go, well, that's expensive for a tiny little bottle. You've got to understand that one drop of oil goes a very, very long way. It's very, very
It
concentrated.
lasts a while. Yeah.
And, especially when you're mixing it in with other things, you're giving it so many different, modalities to be used that
Mhm.
if you measured it out by drop of what you're paying, you're not paying much, right?
Since
Yeah.
it's like you put a couple of drops of whatever the combination is going to be in the palm of your hand or like in a small glass,
Hmm.
and then you add the fractionated coconut oil. It's minimal. And there's a time and a place to go to a vet's office.
Hmm.
You know, major cuts that are gonna need stitches or a broken bone, that kind of thing. But your minor situations, diarrhea and
Hmm.
or you see it, right? Just going to be blunt. Is doTERRA has this product called Digest Zen,
Hmm.
and it's for all things tummy related, whether it's diarrhea, constipation, or whatever. Vomiting is another one. If I see any of my dogs with any of those situations, you bet when they come back in, I put the digested in on my hand and I rub their tummies and
Hmm.
on their spine and then let them smell the cup of my hand, and it works.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It's that they got their own bottle.
Yes.
Because it happens. We don't know why they get
No.
upset tummies either
Or what
way.
they're eating, because their noses pick
If you
things up.
see them eating grass, obviously that's a telltale sign that their stomach's about to get upset. So I would go ahead and put that digestin on the skin of their tummy and then on their back, right away to prevent the future
Yes.
situation.
But I mean, it's the same with ourselves when
Mm-hmm.
we feel like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? We feel an upset tummy. We know something's going on there. It may be inevitable that you end up with the runs because things should come out of you, not stay in.
Yeah.
But the whole cramping and the uncomfortableness of us doesn't have to be there, right? By just kind of taking some oils for yourself and putting it on your
Yeah,
on your stomach.
we got rid of in my house Zantac.
Hmm.
Long, I don't know how many, it's been at least since before 2016, but you'd eat spicy food. In Texas, we love things with jalapeno and lots of spices. And so as my husband and I were getting older, we're like hitting that Zantac. And then started hearing about all the side effects, all the bad things of that particular, that and other stomach relievers,
Yes.
and then got in with doTERRA and learned about Digest Zen. No more of the other things
Yes,
in
exactly.
the house.
I
So
mean, let's face it, Western medicine is absolutely brilliant if you need an operation or you need to fix
yeah,
something. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what Western medicine can do today. But it's not about well-beingness. It's not about maintenance, and it's not about getting to the core of the situation. And that,
correct.
I have another genre called, this is the genre, your health is your choice. And that, goes for the choice of our animals, our children, ourselves, and that we need to stop just being kind of blind about what's given to us or what the ad says on TV and do
Mhm.
our own research and try different things. Because, well, people, it's not just about, oh, your stomach's upset, take this. It's about your well-beingness. Why is your stomach upset? Is it something you've eaten? Are you in stress right now? Could you do with some lavender around you to calm you down so your stomach could calm down? Because your stomach's always an indicator there's something wrong,
Yep.
right? Whether it's the food or something else, it's always that
Stress
indicator.
is a big component
Huge
on
one.
your gut health.
Absolutely huge. So if you can keep your stress level down, it doesn't mean there aren't stressful things going on around
Right.
you, but it does mean you can level it out and how you react to it by
Mm-hmm.
using those oils that kind of keep you in a nice equilibrium. And you know that they're going to keep you calm so you can deal with what you have to deal with less stressfully,
Yep.
which is really important. So I think this is the thing is that oils have been around from the beginning. They've been used since the beginning of time, right? And
Egyptians,
exactly.
Jesus.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, why are we looking at this as the alternative when we really look at it? Western medicine is the alternative because all of these other modalities have been around since the beginning of time. And
Yep.
they were used, yes, now things like antibiotics and being able to have major operations that we didn't used to have before have saved lives and lengthened lives, etc. But the emphasis back then was on maintenance of life so that you didn't go to the extreme of having to deal with something.
Right.
And we've lost that path, haven't we?
Well, we've lost that, and we've lost growing our own food.
Mm,
The
mm.
processed food, um, all the preservatives in it
Ah,
is the preservatives in food and Western medicine is insanely getting worse and worse,
yeah,
bad for us.
yeah.
And our bodies are rebelling, and we do the best that we can. You may have people do have and animal, I say people, animals may have cancer inside you. It's just that the cell that it woke up, right? Or if you have arthritis, which runs rampant in my family, and all kinds of situations, high blood pressure, there are things that you can do. A lot of it is what you eat,
Yes.
so what you put in your body, what you eat, and essential oils, herbs. I just watched a couple of weeks ago about to live to 100 in the blue zones,
Mm-hmm.
and Chinese medicine and the green tea
Mm-hmm.
and all those
Mm-hmm.
wonderful things. I
Absolutely.
was like, we need to go back in
Um,
time.
a lot of kids think that food grows in the supermarket. They don't know anything about farming or the farming life or the
Mhm.
fact that how much global warming and fires and flooding and our heat zones are affecting our farming. And it's affecting our food. It's going to affect our water. And we are going to have to change our lifestyle because we have for the last 50 years lived in opulence. And we think more is more. We have to look back. No, less is more of better quality.
Yeah.
Right. And when we have the better quality, we don't need more. The reason why we need more and we think we're always hungry is because the food we're eating is not of any substance,
Hmm.
right? And our body is craving for nutrition. So you can have somebody die from 300 pounds, right? But they're actually malnutrition because they're not getting the right substance.
Yep.
And yes, we do need to be aware of the growing our food or what we are, supporting local farmers,
Yes.
farmers markets and things like that, cooking at home more and paying attention to what we're putting in our body and what suits us. And, the oils, as you said, you can use certain oils in food that
Hmm.
can enhance the food, that can also at the same time, give that food that extra boost of health. And so
Hmm.
there's so many things that one can do. It's just got to be open to willing to explore.
Yep. definitely. And what you start realizing, what you put in your body and your animals' bodies
Mm,
is different. So
yes,
it's
yes,
it's important that everything around us, you know, go back to the way it used to be. And we can have that longevity of life that's as healthy can be for that individual.
yeah. Now you talk about the longevity. There's a show. Have you heard of the Emoto water experiment?
Mm-mm.
It's Emoto Japanese scientists took three glasses of water, put them in three different rooms, and one was fed, kind of the hate, negative rhetoric. One was fed
Mm.
loving affirmations, and one was ignored. The ignored one didn't change. The one that was fed the negativity turned black, and the other one turned crystal. And if one of those crystals could be measured as an energetic field. And Yashizuki was his assistant and took over his studies and his work. I've had him on a few times, a delightful gentleman. And he goes around testing waters in different parts of the world and looks at the lifestyle. All
Oh,
right. And the lifestyle, it's conducive, it has a double effect. The water has an effect on the lifestyle, but the people's lifestyle also has an effect on the water. Right. And we've got to remember
wow.
we are 90% water in our body. So if we're feeding ourselves negativity and wrong food and all the time, it's changing the chemistry of our water. And
Hmm.
this is where we have dis-ease, right? And so we need to look at how we're treating ourselves by having an arena with the aromatherapy that is going to boost our mood or that calm us down, or those right drops that are just going to fortify our bodies. Then what we're doing is we're presenting that arena for us to thrive in rather than strive in.
Yes,
So
I agree.
there's a lot that we need to open up our minds to, and especially in North America, where we've become very complacent and
Mm.
very entitled. And that has led to a big downfall of our whole moral look on life and how we treat ourselves, how we treat other people. And I think that kindness needs to prevail, and it starts with ourselves.
Oh, definitely. And be kind to your animals.
Yes, yes. I mean, if you want to know what a person's like, meet their animal,
Hmm.
right? Because that will give you a reflection of what that person's like and how they treat the animal. That will tell you a lot about who they are,
Oh, for sure.
right?
There's no doubt.
No doubt. So I don't want to know you, mate. Yeah, so she was kind of the doorkeeper, and people weren't allowed into my life unless she approved of them. So, and I always
No, you
trusted
can't
her.
come in. You can
Yeah,
come in.
exactly. And I'd look at some of my son's friends and I go, I really like this guy, but what is it you don't like about him? And every time she saw him, the hackles would go up. Ended up being what he became was
Uh-oh.
a reflection of her instincts, right? And she could see it
Um,
and I couldn't. And nor did other people until later
hmm.
on when it came out. So trust your animals, trust them, learn to listen and tune into them because they have an instinct that is just so pure. It's not contaminated by ego or opinion. It just is. So
That is
trust them.
so true.
So somebody has an animal in distress, they don't actually have to bring the animal to you. You can do a conference with them virtual anywhere in the world.
I can. I can. Thank you, Zoom. It's
Yes.
amazing. But yeah, I do animal wellness consultation sessions, and it comes, an hour and then 2 30-minute follow-ups, which you won't get from your veterinarian.
No.
I check in with you however many weeks we need to spread it out to see how it's going. But um, the questionnaire is sent when a person purchases a session, and I ask all these questions. I review them, about 24 hours I need to review it and get my thoughts together. And we schedule a Zoom call that I encourage the pet mom and dad, whoever it is, to maybe send pictures, or if the animal's small enough, they can show it to me on their cell phone, or however it works. And then we talk about it, and then I make suggestions. And I always also ask, a lot of people have essential oils. If they're
Yeah.
curious about natural solutions, they may already have a few. And so we can discuss what can be done, how it's to be done, how it's to, um, if it needs to be diluted, I give them the recipe. Um, the application, how to apply it. A lot of people don't know why,
Mm.
what if I don't put it in the right place? And I talk to them, and I just explain to them, don't be scared.
Yeah.
This is what you can do. And it takes time. It's not like a micro. I always tell people, it's even with whatever we're doing in life, ourselves or for our animals, it's not a one time and
Yeah.
done. You have to be consistent with your treatment. And it may be something, allergies are part of our lives.
Yes.
And just keep the oils on hand.
Mm.
And when you feel it's necessary, then you give them the pill and some deli meat, whatever it may be, or diffuse it or whatever the case may be. But that's the best way to work with someone. It's in the comfort of their home.
Mm.
You don't have to put your animal into the car and drive them, which a lot of
Yes.
times you got animals that love a ride in the car
Yes.
and some that don't. Some of you may have to crate. It's just more anxiety when one of your pets or yourself is not feeling well. Do you really want to get out and be around other people and dogs and cats and things in your home? It's just super
Yeah.
personal.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the more calm you become, the more calm they become, and and so on. So, but you don't just work with animals, you work with people as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I work with everyone. It just kind of made sense to me when I niched down to animal aromatherapy, is that when I'm talking to someone, you already knew the value of an essential oil, because if you're putting it on your animal or diffusing it, the humans getting the benefit
Oh,
too
yeah,
in one
exactly.
form or
Yeah.
another. And it's just like, wow, this one bottle or two bottles, whatever it is, I can get benefit too, you
Yes.
know, and it's a purchase that you can make, or it's a product that you can have in your home. You don't have to rush to the
Yeah.
store. It can last a long time depending on how often you use it. It depends. Um, but it just kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, and there is one thing about it is that it's best if you can keep it in the fridge or in a cool place, not have it in a hot place because it is an oil,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and it will
not
break down.
not
So
on the windowsill where the
Exactly.
sun's beating on it, but
Exactly. No,
yeah.
no, that would change its chemistry in there. So yes, it's good to have it in a nice, cool place. Um, and again, they've been around since the beginning of time. A little goes an awful long way. The versatility of the oils and what they can do, and then the combinations of what you can
It's
put together.
limitless.
Yeah, and you can play
Limitless.
around with those combinations.
Mhm.
Play around with them. There's sometimes when I get a cold, I take the pure vitamin C and put it directly, on me because instead of taking it in, I've got the beautiful vitamin C oil already there working for me. And, I'm off to England. When this show is aired, I'm in England. So it reminds me, pack a few oils with me.
I have a pack list of the oil I always travel with, because first of all, traveling
Mhm.
and there's germs.
Yes.
So it's that time, it's year round, but the winter
Yeah.
time, is just more prevalent. When you go to a restroom, you want to wash your hands. Yeah, it's soap and water, but yeah, I make my own hand sanitizer, or I use On Guard, which is what doTERRA's product is for those kind of icky germ things.
Right.
You're touching door handles,
Yes.
your hotel room.
Yeah.
I take a diffuser. I
Yes.
diffuse. I have my wife's. I'm not a germaphobe, but let's be smart.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You don't
I
know.
carry the little bottle of Purell along with me.
Yeah.
Put a few drops in there. Right. Just bit of it's more refreshing but also at the same time. And of course I love tea tree. Tea tree is
Yeah.
just
That is
wonderful.
an amazing one.
Yeah, incredible for for germs and things like that and
Mhm.
prevention. It's fantastic. Um, and like for cysts and things, it's really good at reducing those as well. So, it's a great product. But also you can even put a few oils in your shampoo, right?
Mhm.
And that's, clearing your scalp, or a couple of drops of certain ones in the dog's bath, right? Which is
Mhm.
really, really good. So it's just a question of being educated and kind of knowing, having that conference with you of, which ones would be good. So some people may not have with themselves or with their animal. I don't have a health issue per se right now, but I just want to know how to use the oils. And so you can help them with that as
Mhm.
well. It doesn't have to be you have to wait until someone's sick to do it.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, there's things that you everyone hopefully does self-care, and if you realize there's something going on like hair loss, rosemary,
Mm.
I've been using that, and I cut my hair, and it keeps thriving with the shampoo with the rosemary, and it's just one of the favorite oils for hair growth. And then there's actually a spray called it started out as a mermaid, we called it mermaid hairspray, and then it got changed to growth hairspray. But there's areas that will, as we get older, sometimes we'll
Yes.
have those areas that it gets really thin. I'm what the heck? And then you spray it and you just massage it. So it's a bunch of oils in with water, and you just shake it and spray it on your hair after you shampoo. And that's gotten rid of I hate to use the word bald spot. That's kind
Right.
of
Yeah.
thinning as we get older. It
Reclining
happens.
or declining hairline. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It happens with all folks. Yes. And
It
the hair
does. And
changes
it would work
chemistry as
on
you are.
any
Yeah.
your dog.
Right.
I don't know if dogs really, well, they shed all the time.
Yes,
My
exactly.
poor vacuum.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yes, my son had a Frenchie, and that hair, short and spiky, got everywhere, right?
Oh
And
my.
with the border collie, she had so much fur, but it tumbleweed, so you could pick it up, right, and throw it
Tumbleweed.
away. Yeah, it did. It
That's
kind of
cute.
gathered in it like a tumbleweed, so it was much easier to deal with. But that short, spiky hair, oh, it always found its way into my eyes and everything. So, yeah. So, the thing is, yes, you may have some ailments that you need to deal with, whether it's you, whether it's the animals, whether it's just the general well-being of your family. Get on the aromatherapy bandwagon because it really does work. And it's worked for thousands of years, right? And it's just a question of knowing how, what, where, and when. And
Exactly.
how much, what mix with and what way. Not everybody can use coconut oil. I can't, I'm allergic to coconut. So it's what other oils you can put it
Oh yeah,
into.
there's some great alternatives.
Right. So, and it's knowing that, coconut oil is a nice thick oil and it really goes far and it's got its own beautiful modalities there as
Mhm.
well. And some people use almond oil. Not everybody can use it. It's quite pungent. So, what else can you use it into? So you're asking the questions, she's got the answers. That's what she's there for. So whether it's the animals, it's the kids, it's yourself, it's the household, there is an oil there that can just help. Even if you start off with two or three, what would be just good go-tos or well-being ones that can just set a nice atmosphere for when everybody comes home, even if you just start there,
Mhm.
right? And you will notice a difference with that diffuser and those oils going out, a difference in everyone's behavior without them even noticing.
Lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Great
Ah,
place to start. I had a lady, our next door neighbor was watching our dogs. We went out of town to visit my son and his family that live about 5 hours away. And she after we came back, I went to go visit her, and she goes, I just loved walking into your house. It smells so good. Because I wasn't running the diffusers, but doTERRA came out with
yeah.
a plug-in diffuser where you put the bottle into it and
Mm,
it
yeah.
poofs out, especially with motion detection.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that made me feel so good.
Yeah. Oh, and it does. It's in our nose, right? And our taste buds are constantly working. We're
Mhm.
picking up tastes of things, and our nose is breathing in all the time. And so, if we're breathing in good sensory smells, but at the same time, it's working on the brain, on the psyche, and on the body, because that sensory, why is perfume so expensive? You can pay thousands of dollars for an ounce of something, right? I say, please put the perfume down because it's not regulated. Use aromatherapy instead. It's
I
better
don't
for
use
you.
perfume anymore. I
No, I
don't.
use
It's all
aromatherapy.
oils.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. That's it. I use a dab of this or a dab of that of my aromatherapy because I know not only is it good for me, I know it's safe for me. And
Mhm.
with that perfume, not all of them have been regulated. So you have no idea what's in there that you are putting on your skin or putting up your nose, putting on your
Right?
wrist or behind your ears and all the sensory spots. So it's really, really important you know what things are made of and you go for the pure. aromatherapy that has been ethically sourced, then you know that you're putting something not only smells good, but it's doing you good at the same time.
Yes, so many benefits.
So many benefits across the board and ongoing. It's not
Yes.
just about, oh, I'm fixing that problem. It's about, how it maintains and goes all the time. Now, how did you get to the name Texas Oil Lady?
Well, obviously, I live in Texas. And
Do
it
people
just,
get misconstrued and think that you're a big, oil
they,
tycoon?
bless their heart, a lot of people of a certain generation, they'll say, "Oh, is it like that movie, that TV show
Yeah.
Dallas, with the Ewings?"
Yeah.
No. So occasionally, when I visit in network, I'll say, I'm a Texas oil lady. I'm not talking about crude oil or avocado oil. I'm talking about essential oil.
Yeah.
And the Y and lady, it's hard to see my logo, but it's actually an oil drop. So my
Uh,
graphic designer came up with that. And I love the shape of Texas, but I love the fact that yes, it gives me, Texas oil lady. I enjoy that, but I can share it all the way around the world.
mm.
And that's what I just, I want to educate and share. It's just all good stuff.
Exactly. So it's texasoillady.com.
Mhm.
It's Cindy at texasoillady.com.
Mhm.
It's Facebook Texas Oil Lady, LinkedIn Texas Oil Lady,
Yeah.
and on Instagram it's Cindy L. Cowan, which is CINDYLCOWAN. And they can
Mhm.
reach you at any one of those.
Oh, yes. Please send me messages.
Exactly. And you're giving away a free 15-minute consultation
Mhm.
for people or their pets, and they can email you that or sign up for something on your
I think
site.
I sent you a link that they can click on and they can schedule on their end.
Okay. And for those that are listening, go back to her show page here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com and just simply put in Cindy Lynn Cohen, and her whole show page with all that link and everything else will come up. Folks, oils are beautiful. They really are. And that really do not go to your local cheap dollar store and buy an oil. I promise you, they are not pure. You've got to make sure that wherever you're getting your oils, that they are professionally and authentically sourced. Because if you buy a fake lavender, it actually is detrimental to your health. And people have actually known to die from having lavender calendars because out of the fake lavender, because it was releasing lead or whatever. So please make sure that you are getting ethically sourced. And whether you get it from Cindy or get it somewhere else, you still need to know how to use it. So reach out to Cindy and have her help you and guide you, whether it's just for well-beingness or for an issue, right? The oils have got an answer. You've just got to know what the answer is. So thank you so much for sharing with us here today, Cindy.
Thank you, Sarah. It's been a pleasure. I enjoy this. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. So until next time, folks, remember there is always an answer and it always comes from nature because nature is awesome and provides us everything we ever need. So oil up and feel good. Okay? Catch you next time, folks. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration, it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.